So that's it. That's it? This is what happens at the end of time?
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unanswered questions from Loki Season 1.
What do you want from me? What is this about?
C20? The variant? All these questions, what are you getting at?
But what if by taking him out, we risk unleashing something even worse?
For this list, we're looking at the biggest unsolved mysteries we were left with by the end of the Disney+ series. Since we'll be talking about the events of the entire season, it's time for a spoiler warning. What's the biggest question you have after Loki's first season? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. How did Loki and Sylvie create their Nexus event?
Why don't you just tell me what caused the Nexus event on Lamentus?
Let me say this again. I'm not going to tell you.
When Loki and Sylvie are stranded on a dying Lamentus 1, they get the TVA's attention by causing a Nexus event. But how did they pull this off? Nexus events occur when someone makes a choice that doesn't fit into the Sacred Timeline's plans. Mobius thinks Loki and Sylvie's budding romance is the answer.
Two variants of the same being, especially you, forming this kind of sick, twisted romantic relationship, that's pure chaos. That could break reality.
But since the TVA doesn't think our Loki or Sylvie were meant to exist, why did the Sacred Timeline draw attention to the duo? Even if the variants kissed on Lamentus 1, the original outline for the timeline would have been preserved if they perished there. Our best guess is He Who Remains manipulated things behind the scenes, so TVA computers would recognize a romantic moment as a Nexus event. But we're not 100% sure.
So, Mobius and his theory.
Right, about my Nexus event.
Total rubbish, right?
Absolutely, of course.
Number 9. What else is Miss Minutes hiding? We initially thought Miss Minutes was just a helpful and innocent TVA assistant, but we eventually saw the sinister side of her clock face. In the finale, it's revealed that Miss Minutes always knew about the TVA's true creator.
He's impressed.
Who's impressed?
He who remains.
And who is he?
He created all, and he controls all.
But she notably didn't let the high-ranking Judge Ravonna in on the truth.
I'm telling you this willingly. Why? Because I want to know who's at the top of this. I want to know who lied to me.
If Miss Minutes was keeping such a huge secret like that under wraps, what else could she be hiding? Did she know what He Who Remains was planning from the beginning? And did Miss Minutes personally witness the multiversal war? Although the extent of her knowledge is a mystery, we are positive she's hiding more secrets beneath that smile.
Hey there.
What took you so long?
Sorry, some things had to get worked out.
Number 8. How did He Who Remains choose who joined the TVA? He Who Remains explains that he created the TVA to ensure that events on the so-called sacred timeline always happen the same way.
Once I isolated our timeline, all I have to do was manage the flow of time and prevent any further branches. Hence, the TVA.
However, he never told us how he chose his employees. We know the average TVA worker is a variant from the timeline who has no access to their memories.
I was told that everyone who works at the TVA was created by the Timekeepers.
That's ridiculous. They're all variants, just like us.
They don't know that.
But if He Who Remains had the freedom to draft anyone into the TVA, why didn't he fill his organization with Avengers? Is there an unknown factor that Hunter B-15, Mobius, and Ravonna share that makes them ideal employees? It's of course possible he picked people at random, but since he specifically wanted former villains to lead the TVA, we have a feeling there's a deeper reason why everyone else was hired too.
We're all villains here. We've all done horrible, terrible, horrific things.
Number 7. Why did the TVA arrest Sylvie? Sylvie's long journey to reach the Citadel of Time started after the TVA arrested her when she was just a child. But the details of her so-called crime are a mystery.
What was my Nexus event? Why did you bring me in?
What does it matter?
What motivated the TVA to remove her from the timeline? A few fans have speculated that she may have been too nice when she was young. As a child, we see her enjoying the idea of heroes saving the day.
Dragon swoops towards the palace, but Valkyrie flies over, defeats the dragon, and saves Asgard.
There's our variant. On the authority of the Timekeepers, I hereby arrest you for crimes against the sacred timeline. Reset it.
Wait!
she also shows a desire to help someone she doesn't know. This kinder version of Loki may not have grown up to become the villain the sacred timeline needed her to be. Hopefully, Season 2 will confirm whether Sylvie's kindness or another aspect of her past got her taken off the timeline.
It was personal to me.
Grow up! Grow up, Sylvie! Murderer! Hypocrite!
Number 6. What happened to Kid Loki and Alligator Loki?
These are my friends. They're, how best to put this? Us as a child, us in the future, and us as, an alligator.
Our Loki first met his kid and alligator variants in a land at the end of time called the Void. When the young and reptile versions of the God of Mischief got a chance to leave, they chose to stay.
You boys want a ticket out of here?
What? No. We're staying here.
This is our home.
Since we don't revisit the Void after episode 5, we have no idea what happened to them. We know that Sylvie's actions had serious effects on certain people on the timeline. But since Alligator and Kid Loki live at the end of time, were they unaffected by what she did? And if they managed to survive Sylvie's actions, did Elias or one of the many variants catch up to them?
Apologies, my liege. I betrayed you. And now, I'm king.
About that.
You can't be serious.
We'll have to wait and see if Kid Loki and Alligator Loki escaped certain doom. Number 5. Who and what did Sylvie open up the MCU to?
We just crossed the threshold.
As soon as Sylvie opened the door for multiple universes to exist, we wondered who else she welcomed into the MCU. We know that Kang, a variant of He Who Remains, will do villainous things in Ant-Man's third film because of what she did. And the cast list of Spider-Man No Way Home hints that Sylvie made it possible for Sony's Dr. Octopus to fight the MCU's Spidey. Is she also the reason we'll get a Jane with powers in Thor: Love and Thunder? And most importantly, did Sylvie help Wanda? Scarlet Witch tragically had to let her kids disappear from the timeline. However, she was later able to hear them calling to her. Did Sylvie unintentionally bring Billy and Tommy back in another timeline?
Mom! Are you okay?
Number 4. What's Sylvie's next move?
Aren't you gonna beg for your life?
Good.
In the finale, Sylvie finally got revenge against the TVA creator who was responsible for ruining her life. But what will she do now that He Who Remains is gone? Although she could try to violently topple the TVA again, another variant would probably replace whoever she took out. But we doubt she'll sit back and let timelines and people continue to get pruned.
Tell the workforce who they are and why they do what they do.
You treated real people's lives like some kind of game.
If Sylvie wants to truly stop the TVA's wicked action for all time, she'll need a more elegant plan. Maybe she'll patch things up with Loki and they can brainstorm a new plan together. Or she can take the tempad she acquired to visit her postman friend. It's ultimately up to Sylvie to write the next chapter of her story.
What will you do when this is all over?
I don't know.
Number 3. What's going on with Loki and the TVA? After Loki is forced to return to the TVA, he starts getting a closer look around. He is horrified to discover that 3 Timekeeper statues have been replaced by a singular monument to Kang. To make matters worse, Loki's closest allies don't remember who he is.
Take it easy. You're an analyst, right? What division are you from?
What are you talking about?
Who are you? What's your name?
Boots on the ground now, archives.
Who are you?
It's not too far-fetched to assume their boss messed with their memories.
It's all a manipulation.
Interesting that your head would go to that.
But there's also a chance that Loki isn't in the right TVA. Before he arrived there, He Who Remains mentioned multiple timelines were starting to appear.
Insane? Yes. But maybe he was telling the truth.
Better hurry! Timeline's already branching.
It's possible that Sylvie accidentally sent Loki to a TVA that exists in a different reality than the one he was used to. Whether his friends lost their memories or Loki lost his universe, he clearly doesn't belong where he ended up. Number 2, where does Ravonna go from here?
Sometimes you get tired of playing the same part. Is that possible? You can change?
Not unless the Timekeepers decree it. And then it shall be so.
While Ravonna was a judge who didn't originally question the TVA, she became desperate for answers by the time we reached the finale. But where will she go to figure everything out? During the finale, He Who Remains points Ravonna towards specific files.
But I'm downloading the files you need now.
This isn't what I asked for.
I know, but he thinks this'll be more useful.
While we don't know what he wanted her to see, the information she learned likely influenced her next move. Did Ravonna find out where she can find a variant of He Who Remains? Or is she hiding in an apocalypse to stay off the TVA's radar while she reads the information she's been given? No matter where she ends up, Ravonna's probably gonna need to change careers.
What? Who are you? And what the hell are you doing in my school?
Before we ask our most pressing question, here are some honorable mentions. Why does the TVA automatically destroy robots? It's never fully explained what the organization has against robots.
What if I was a robot and I didn't know it?
The machine would melt you from the inside out. Please move along, sir.
Was He Who Remains completely honest with Loki and Sylvie? Did the mysterious figure leave major details out of his monologue?
It's just another lie. Another manipulation.
Oh, no lie. No manipulation.
Will the sacred timeline Thor meet the Loki variant who led the show? Does Thor have to live out the rest of his days without a version of his brother around?
You know, maybe you're not so bad after all, brother. Maybe not. Thank you. If you're here, I might even give you a hug.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Did Mobius ever ride a jet ski?
In the early 1990s, for a brief, shining moment, there was a beautiful union of form and function, which we call the jet ski.
The jet ski magazine that Mobius kept on his desk seemed like an odd thing for him to keep in the timeless TVA until we discovered he was a variant.
So before this, you had a past. Maybe you had a family. A life.
His love for the aquatic vehicles may have been one of the last things he remembers before he was pulled from his old life. Mobius seemed determined to uncover his origins after learning he was a variant.
You know where I'd go if I could go anywhere? Wherever it is I'm really from. And wherever I had a life before the TVA came along. Maybe I had a jet ski.
However, he seemed much more concerned with the timeline crisis in the finale. Will Mobius ever seek out his real backstory? And if he ever discovers where he's from, will he finally give the fans what they really want and ride a jet ski?
I think a TVA agent showing up on a jet ski on the sacred timeline, that would create a branch for sure.
That'll be fun, though.
Yeah. It'd be really fun.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.